Welcome to part 3 of this big bungalow project. So now we are going to be constructing a bespoke oak porch entrance. So here's a rough sketch of how it's going to look, done by the client. So you can see we've got a bit of a curved fascia detail here. 2 posts at the front, sitting on these walls there, the piers. So we're going to resin some threaded bar into the brickwork. Put a steel plate at the bottom, bore a hole in the bottom of the post, plonk those on top, so that will lock that in, it won't be able to move. We'll have a front cross beam for the bottom cord of the truss, 2 rafters, central post, 2 diagonal posts in the middle. A couple of wall plates tying into the roof, so that'll be where the roof sits obviously. Rafters then in oak forming the roof structure. Ridge beam, bit of fascia on the side, and then a nice curved fascia at the front. So we're using reclaimed oak. We've got some here on the bench. So as you can see, it's already very weathered. It's had, I think, a couple of years really. The client already had this from a previous project. So we're going to give it a good sand out with some 80 grit. Start cutting the members, getting them jointed together. So yeah, let's go, get into it. Okay, so that's the 2 tenons cut on the posts. We've done a half lap for the truss bottom cord. We've got to do another one the other end, but we're going to put the posts and the top plates up first and measure in between so we can keep it nice and plumb. These are the top plates, so this is going to connect into the roof, and then these posts will mortise into the underside of this, and then we've got a bit of a housing out here for the half lap of the top cord. So we'll get into us now installing it. Right, so we're now on to cutting our trusses for this oak porch. We've got these 6x6 beams and going to cut it similar to a rafter. So obviously a plumb cut on the top, bird's mouth, bit of a tail on the end, and we're probably going to bridle joint it to the central post. So we've been kindly lent this 415mm Makita new HS, which one is it? HS013G, and it is brilliant. So you can literally cut through 6x6 in one pass, which I'm going to show now. So let's give it a go. There you go. This will probably finish off with the handsaw or the bird's mouth, but there you can see that plumb cut. We've literally cut that in one pass, and this is green oak, so very, very good saw that is. Right, so we've been battling against the elements, getting soaking wet, but we've got the truss formed now. Yeah, it's not gone to plan, I'll be honest. The top joints, bridle joints, weren't meeting exactly perfectly how we wanted them to. So when we fitted this rafter, it's dry, because this wall plate, we've had to, it's not parallel with the other one. We had a gap this side, it was tight this side, so we had to ease this bird's mouth, which then brought it in closer up the top. And then we've had to ease the other bird's mouth again to bring it in at the top. And you'll see in a second the plumb cuts are nice and tight on that central post now, but what it's done, it's slightly lowered them from the ridge, not much, but about 4mm or so. And then, yeah, very slightly pulled it in here as well. So if you run a straight edge across, it's sitting a little bit low, but you're talking about 3 or 4mm, so not the end of the world. It's not going to show. We've also got a fascia detail going on the front here, curved one, so that we can then lift it back up to where it needs to be, so it does plane in nicely. So we've, as I say, bird's mouth, I fixed that with some Weerox coated Spax screws. Bridle joint up here into this post. This post has been mortised and tenoned into the truss bottom cord. We've actually screwed these angled sections here, 1 through there, 2 through there, just to save on time really. It's more for the aesthetics, it's not necessarily structural on this one. Again, screwed through there and plugged with oak plugs, bird's mouth here. So that is the truss form. So the next thing we're going to be doing is filling in the back of the roof there with the lay board and jacks. That brickwork's going to be built up underneath to form a gable. And then we'll be doing the curved fascia at the front. So I'll catch up with you after that. There we go, that's the porch all complete now. As you can see, we've got some nice curved details, curved fascia on the sides, curved barges at the top there, and a curved, I guess you'd call it a fascia that we've planted on the bottom chord of the truss, and the knee braces are curved too, so the pegs are just sticking out slightly, so we're going to give them a trim off tomorrow. So yeah, thank you for watching this one. See you next time.